हवामानातील वाढत्या गरजा आणि वाढत्या ऊर्जेची मागणी लक्षात घेता केंद्रीय वैज्ञानिक आणि औद्योगिक परिषद (CSIR) अंतर्गत नागपूरच्या राष्ट्रीय पर्यावरण अभियांत्रिकी संशोधन संस्था NIRI-मार्फत आज 27 मे रोजी हॉटेल सेंटर पॉईंट रामदास पेठ नागपूर येथे ऊर्जा संवाद स्वच्छ व्यवहार समावेशक या विषयावर विचारमंथन कार्यशाळा आयोजित करण्यात आल्याची माहिती NIRI नागपूरचे संचालक डॉक्टर व्यंकट मोहन यांनी काल पत्रकार परिषदेमध्ये दिली. सकाळी 9 ते सायंकाळी 6 वाजेपर्यंत चालणाऱ्या या एकदिवसीय कार्यशाळेत आघाडीचे तज्ज्ञ, धोरणकर्ते, संशोधक आणि उद्योग भागधारकांना एकत्र आणून विचारांची आणि नाविन्यपूर्ण उपायांची सर्वसमावेशक देवाणघेवाण केली जाईल. मागील 67 वर्षांपासून NIRIचे समाजासाठी आणि देशासाठी कार्य सुरू असून पर्यावरण संतुलन राखण्यासाठी महत्त्वाची अशी भूमिका NIRI निरंतर पार पाडत आहे. NIRI ही संशोधन क्षेत्रातील प्राथमिक माहितीची संरक्षक असून संशोधन आणि धोरण निर्मितीसाठी सरकारी संस्थांसोबत खासगी क्षेत्रातसुद्धा सहकार्य करते.
Many gases wherein CO2 is one of the major gas, which is a greenhouse gas. So how to reduce CO2 emissions, because once you use that energy, it also carries greenhouse gas emissions. So energy, when it should be clean, it should emit less carbon emissions. So that's where how to reduce carbon emissions for energy requirement is one of the basic things to move towards sustainability. So there are many strategies coming up how to reduce carbon emissions. So that strategies will be discussed here, how to reduce.
Is NIRI involved in any such project in Maharashtra, Nagpur?
We have project on carbon capture utilization, in carbon capture utilization and storage, where and apart from one more Center for Excellence on Climate Change. The basic scope of climate change is looking to emissions from all industries in this region and try to quantify where from emissions are coming. So once quantification is done, then the second Center for Excellence are trying to address how to reduce carbon by using some chemical tools. And apart from that, we also have a project to look into CO2 sequestration by biological tools. So that is one project specific to decarbonization.
Just to recheck, you said quantifying emissions.
Quantifying carbon emissions.
So biological thing, sir has already mentioned about the green field enhancement and the protein and FP reaction. And besides that, when we are talking about the chemical encapsulation, we are also trying to use the industrial waste, industry waste like fly ash, steel slag, and even the biomass, the biochar which is getting out from there, which have the ability to capture the atmospheric CO2 permanently. From the, and also it can be the type of solution where we can propose it's a climate change solution for that regard. So we are using waste at the point where the CO2 is being generated. The same waste we are trying to capture it over there.
So sir, I just want to add one point which sir was explaining that NIRI is basically targeting hard to abate sector. So just to brief you, but what is hard to abate? Hard to abate. What is hard to abate is that when you are making something and CO2 is coming out from your process, means hard to abate. Like what kind of process? So for a simple example is cement manufacturing. So when you manufacture cement, it is primarily from CaCO3, calcium carbonate. So when you process it in kiln, you get CaO and Ca. So to make CaO, which is our primer base of cement, there is a CO2 release. Now you have to mitigate this CO2, you have to stop making cement. So this becomes hard to abate. So in this, to capture this CO2, there are initiatives which NIRI is doing to capture CO2. That how we can capture, because we cannot control at source here, because it is a process emission.
So there are two things. One is with cement industry. In steel, most of the energy comes from fossils. So to make steel green, so we have to go with clean energy. So now government is looking into using hydrogen. And hydrogen again, green hydrogen. So that is one. In cement industry we have.
So what I'm just curious, which is having the high flexibility, like the bauxite residue, red mud, brine
So, but
sludge.
can you give me example?
Where we are having the free calcium and free magnesium sourcing. So if you are passing the free iron of magnesium, so it will capture the CO2 and make calcium carbonate and it gets saturated over there. Basically what we are doing, we are trying to stabilize the CO2 with some of the free elements present there as a source in the waste.
Okay.
So if there is magnesium, it is going to convert into magnesium chloride. If there is calcium, it is going to convert into calcium chloride. Or a lot of other elements are present which can be
A good project. So one of the projects which we are also doing is based on circular economy fundamentals, that we are trying to utilize some industry waste, or maybe like you get CDP sludge from when your wastewater gets treated, you get lot of sludge. If that sludge can be encapsulated and can bring into your value chain of cement manufacturing, so your cement production is somewhat trickled down, that your need was 100 and 1% you are meeting, utilizing some waste through circular economy route, indirectly reducing carbon.
So basic
brainstorming session which we are organizing tomorrow in context of energy dialogue for sustainable energy transition. तो ये हमारा जो कार्यक्रम है ये बहुत यूज़फुल है पॉलिसी मेकर्स और एक R&D के दृष्टिकोण से, और इसमें हम जो एड्रेस करने वाले हैं तो जो पॉलिसी मेकर्स है, रिसर्चर्स है, इंडस्ट्री स्टेक होल्डर्स है, उनके लिए सभी के लिए हम करेंगे। और जो इसमें जो चीज़ें हैं जो जैसे सर्कुलर बायो इकोनॉमी है, या फिर काफ़ी चीज़ें जो बायो से रिलेटेड है बायोटेक्नोलॉजी से, तो उसमें हमें जो एनर्जी ट्रांजिशन है, जैसे पहले हम फॉसिल फ्यूल्स थे तो अभी हम जैसे अलग अलग बायो एनर्जी के नए स्वरूप में जा रहे हैं, तो उसमें विल ट्राई टू कवर ऑल दोज थिंग्स, तो हाउ वी कैन कंट्रीब्यूट टू द नेशन बिल्डिंग इन टर्म्स ऑफ दिस एनर्जी ट्रांजिशन, सस्टेनेबल एनर्जी ट्रांजिशन। तो इसमें कल का जो वर्कशॉप बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है, और इसके लिए आज हम आपको बुलाया है ताकि हमें बहुत वाइड कवरेज मिले। और सर वी हैव so many representatives from print and electronic media, so I think they will introduce first, because this is your first meeting with them, because since you have joined, so we'll start from there. Sir, Pinjarkar sir, so you
25, almost 4 months back. Before that, I worked in CSR Institute in Hyderabad, Indian Institute of Chemical Technology. Basically, I am an environmental engineer working in multiple domains. One of my major interests is biotechnology. So we try to use biotechnology for bioenergy generation, biochemicals, and similarly waste remediation also. With a scope of circular economy and looking into LCA to optimize the process. So we have a couple of technologies recently demonstrated at full scale for wastewater treatment and for hydrogen.
नमस्ते, मेरा नाम डॉक्टर अवनीश अंशुल है। मैं प्रिंसिपल साइंटिस्ट हूँ एनर्जी रिसोर्स डिवीजन में CSIR, and I am the organizing secretary for this energy dialogue brainstorming workshop. So we will be briefing you shortly about what is basic about this workshop, the course of this.
Hello everyone, I am Dr. रणकर. I am a principal scientist at NEERI, and I am also a convener to this program, and where we will be discussing about energy dialogue, which will be shortly briefed.
मैं प्रकाश कुमार है और साइंस कम्युनिकेशन में हूँ, एंड एज यूजुअल आई एम सेंडिंग यू ऑल प्रेस रिलीजेस ऑफ द इवेंट्स एंड एनी SNT अचीवमेंट और एक्टिविटीज, मेजर हाइलाइट्स ऑफ द इंस्टीट्यूट। सो
It's all about this energy dialogue, brainstorming energy dialogue. Sir, let us first start with director, sir, because
Good afternoon to all. Thank you very much for coming to NEERI. So today, this occasion, we want to discuss about the event which is going to happen tomorrow, brainstorming workshop on energy dialogues. So the basic scope of this event, anyhow my colleagues will be telling, but as a NEERI, you know that NEERI is here since last 67 years, has significantly done for environment. So starting from water treatment, sanitation in 1958, Subsequently, it moved towards different domains as and when required, because environment is very dynamic, changing from 1958 started with sanitation, then wastewater treatment, then common effluent treatment plant, then air pollution and abatement and environmental impact assessment. In this process, up to present, CCUS, carbon capture, utilization, storage, in between bioenergy, green materials, NEERI has been doing significantly in developing process or technologies as and when required by the society as well as by the stakeholders. This is with respect to technology. Apart from that, NEERI is it's pan-India present. You know, it has 5 zonal centers. It's been supporting government as well as industry in addressing all environmental issues. So we can say that NEERI is an institute where it is recognized globally. It's its inspection. So monitoring. India has so much of primary database. It's a custodian of primary database. So it doesn't depend on, and all primary data from NEERI only, and everybody use NEERI's primary data to come up with some policy decisions, any other institute. So when we look into the platform where NEERI is working, in all domains it's working. Either it has environmental engineers, chemists, biologists, everybody. So it's a kind of a platform where globally you cannot see so many expertise, interdisciplinary existence in one platform. So this is the advantage of NEERI. And when we look into the ranking, NEERI is known for its credibility. Its SOPs were cited in many of the global platforms as well as reports. And also ranking-wise, NEERI is in a very good position when global south is concerned. It will be almost in the first place, working in different domains. So what I would like to say, it works on water, wastewater, hazardous waste, with air pollution, biotechnology. I think the objective of this conference is to look into energy. So energy, as we know, that we are dependent on energy. All our developments are dependent on energy. So the major thing is that we depend on fossils for our energy. So the basic problem is when we use fossils, we also try to address these issues. How it's a kind of a dialogue, a brainstorming workshop, try to address different kind of strategies that can be used to decarbonize the energy. So in this conference, in this workshop, I would like to say, people from different domains, starting from academicians, stakeholders, as well as industry, everybody come up with some kind of policy and roadmap. So with this I will start, but my colleagues will explain more detail about the program.
So we have a vertical in NEERI. We call it an environmental resource planning vertical, wherein we have some vertical energy resources. So at energy resources, please feel free to. So normally, as per NEERI's mandate, as रणकर has pointed out, our main focus is environment. So we look after the energy environment nexus. Now, I'll slightly further highlight about the background of this workshop and then